Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new show. This is The Archive. So I'm going to be doing older fights in this series, old boxing matches, kickboxing. I got a lot of recommendations and suggestions from you guys, which I've made a list of, so I'll start working through them. But I want to kick it off with quite a recent fight, and one that obviously a lot of people have watched. It was a very short fight. It is Canelo Alvarez against Yildirim. Okay. Oh, there we go. Right. So I'm going to start it off in the first round, of course. And the first 30 seconds kind of sets the tone for the whole fight. So it starts off, well, first of all, Yildirim comes out to touch gloves and gets none of it. Like, first thing about Canelo is he's all business. Nah, not really. Not interested. Okay, so as the fight starts, Canelo's going to circle him kind of 180 degrees, and he's going to throw a powerful jab as his first punch. All this is just kind of tempting Yildirim to throw, measuring him. But then we're going to get a powerful jab and then a powerful left hook, and that Yildirim resets. Okay. As he throws the jab establishes the tone. He throws it right to the top of the head, and he snaps Yildirim's head back. And it's an impactful, uncomfortable punch to get caught with. So then as he starts to throw the left hook, watch where Yildirim's arms are. He brings his forearms right close together so as not to take a punch straight down the line. And then as the left hook comes around the side, it's a very, very powerful shot. And then we get this. This happens quite regularly in this fight with Yildirim. Every time he gets hit with a power shot, he kind of does this, drops his gloves and a little jog reset there, and then puts his guard back up. And then Canelo just starts doing some really nice work. He's going to throw a feint right there to a lead uppercut. And this is a shot he uses fairly regularly through the fight. So obviously, you know, with those first 30 seconds, well, the first 20 seconds opening the way they did, he's already got Yildirim a little bit tentative, and now he's starting to bite. Every time he sees Canelo move, because he's thrown two punches and they were both power punches, they both were uncomfortable for him straight away. There was no, there's no warming up, there's no feeling out. Like, Canelo was straight in with power punches. Just set the tone for the fight and made Yildirim really uncomfortable. I have to check I'm recording sometimes. So by this point, every time Canelo moves, Yildirim reacts off instinct based on what he thinks is coming. And the difference with boxing gloves is that although they're very good because you can create a bigger guard, a bigger shield to block punches, it also covers a lot of your vision. So you do lose some of that sensitivity to your environment. So watch what Canelo does here. He pumps a right hand right out to the side, way out to the side. So two benefits. One is that it forces Yildirim to cover up as if a big right hand's coming. Second of all, it loads his hips, so now the spread between one fist and the next... Why is my pen not working? It's not working. The spread between one fist and the next, because he's thrown his right hand out, he's loaded his next punch, which is going to come straight up through the guard. I've got a better version on a replay in a moment, but you can see from this angle where the punch is as Yildirim's... Oh, why is my pen not working? Well, let me see if I can reset this. Okay, sometimes I have to reintroduce them. There we go. Okay, technical difficulties. So the distance between this hand and the hand that actually attacks, they're spread so far apart. He's created a lot of torque across his midsection. So when that punch comes up the center, again, Yildirim not expecting it because he was covering the right hand, it's very, very impactful. Snaps his head right back, comes right through the guard. And it was the reason I wanted to start with this one was because it was just a very impressive performance. There's just no fat on Canelo's game. Everything has a purpose. When he's throwing punches to the body, he's not really bothered about getting around the arms Oftentimes he'll just smash into the forearms. Sometimes the forearms of his opponent will hit into their ribs, and then that's, there's impact there as well. But the tone at which he approaches these fights, the ferocity in his punches, the way that as he lunges into range, he whips his body around and just punches whatever's there. It makes, you can see how quickly it breaks Yildirim and how uncomfortable he is, and this is further reaffirmed because obviously we don't know Yildirim and as a fighter aside from what we've seen of him. His coaches know him very well because they spend a lot of time with him. When he goes back to his corner at the end of the second round, like his coach says, like, you've got to show me something or I'm going to stop the fight. Like, they clearly recognize that he's been completely shut down by the presence of Canelo. And, who wouldn't be, of course. However, well, I mean, Mayweather and Golovkin, perhaps. The thing is with Canelo in this fight, the way that he commanded the space immediately, and he knew that he would have that command, so he wielded that power very, very well. Like, everything that he's doing now, Yildirim's biting on. And Yildirim's now starting to just feel like a punch bag because Canelo's not even giving him the courtesy of trying to remove his guard before he punches him. He's just hitting what's there. And if you watch, Canelo's Instagram's fascinating. If you watch any of his training videos, there's a lot of times where he's got a very widespread base and he's just pitching like power punches at the bag. And you can see how it transfers into his game. It's a very hard-nosed style, but it keeps him very safe because of the fear that he puts in his opponents. Like, they don't feel like they can open up because they get punished every time they do. I'll cover that in a moment. But what you'll notice from the first round onwards is when Canelo's working to the body, he's just hitting what's there. So then you start to get some bruising into the forearms and into the triceps, and then some redness on the body as well. And then you start to see Yildirim like subconsciously making a decision between covering his head, his temples, and his, like the stuff on your head that will knock you out and the stuff on your body that's already starting to hurt. And that's where Canelo starts to lean into it a bit more. Like he did in the Kovalev fight, the finish where he'd created the narrative of the left hook to the body, and then he came up with a rocket left hook to the head. You'll see the same thing here. Where is it? See, he postures low as if he's going to dig to the body. And you see Yildirim, look where his gloves are right there. Like, that glove is sitting right over his cheekbone. He's not covering his head. He's not expecting a left hook to the head because otherwise his guard would be higher. He's dropped his elbows down at his belt line because he's expecting Canelo to be attacking. Oh, my God, come on. He's expecting Canelo to be attacking into this target here. So he's trying to cover that as much as possible. When in actuality, as it pans through, Canelo comes right up to the head. You can see how his posture shows a body shot, though, and you can see how hard Yildirim bites on it by how he drops his hands as it's coming in. Bang, right at the side of it. And again, like, he's just hitting whatever's there. Like, he's landing right on the side of the ear there with the inside of his glove, and he's pulling all of his power into it. It's one of the things that maybe has to be adapted slightly about his style for MMA. The principle can still be applied. I'm saying this because I know a lot of MMA fans will be watching this. Like, the principle can still be applied. You can still kick to the body and beat up the arms and make your opponent uncomfortable and just feel like a punch bag. There are some things that you can't do. I mean, Junior Dos Santos throws an inside left hook with like the inside of his palm. It is a possible thing, but you've got to be careful, obviously, where you're landing a bit more, with the smaller gloves. But Canelo's just clubbing at him here. He's showing dominance and he's showing power. And he does that a lot as well. He just posts on the face, and that actually backfires on Yildirim a little bit later in this round. See, there it is again. So now he's sold the left hook narrative. Now he goes a slap left hook with no intention of that landing. So Yildirim covers high. And then we've got that gap right between his elbows there, which is the target that Canelo's coming up in the center. It's like you can see his fist coming, like, that's a slap left hook just to bring the guard up of Yildirim. And then the punch comes up the center. And the beauty of all this stuff, like, when he fires his right hand out, it loads his lead leg for the uppercut. When he's throwing this slap left hook, he's loading this right hand to come right up the center. It's, they're complementary feints, I guess you could say. Bang, power shot. Shot to the head. There's the Yildirim reset again. Like, knocked him off balance. Just clubbed him with it. Bang. Lovely distance management. There's that faint right hand again. Look, you can see it fire out over Yildirim's left hand. Fully extended. This is a better angle where you can see the torque across the body. Because if I'm throwing a power punch on my lead hand, I have to draw it. I have to cock it before I throw it. Whether that's an uppercut, obviously I need to load the lead leg for that as well. But this shoulder, this arm have to retract in some way. So this is often why they're stitched onto the end of a right hand. You throw your right hand to a lead uppercut or a right hand to a lead hook, because the cross torque of your shoulders sets you up for that return shot. Canelo's using that as a feint as well. Feint coupled with fear allows him to create this center channel. Fires out the right hand way over the side of Yildirim's head. And again, bear in mind, he sees Canelo's shoulder move in front of him and knows that the right hand's over here somewhere, but can't see it because of his glove. And then that center channel's opened up again. Look, we can see, let me see if I can draw and then zoom. Oh, that works. I didn't know that works. Okay, you can see the center channel right there that Canelo's influencing. And because he's beaten up so many different targets on Yildirim, he doesn't know where to defend. Like even in boxing, with the big gloves and the limited striking ranges and tools, you still can't cover everything. So you still have to make a decision. And Canelo forces him to make decisions over and over again, which is the incorrect one. Here's the right hand again. I mean, that couldn't be more extended than it is, but you can also see the benefit in it. Like, look at the distance between Yildirim's elbow and his ribs there. He's not expecting a body shot to come through. Also opens up that center channel between his two elbows, which is what Canelo's exploiting. And now we're into the second round. I mean, he's been doing this over and over again, and Canelo's still getting him to bite on it. That's the benefit and the value of Canelo putting that fear in him in the first round that every shot could be a power shot. Okay, we're getting around to the knockdown here. Lovely work again. Like, there's the slap left hook, straight up the center channel. Like, just cruising. Power left hook to the body, a little parry. It's very casual at this point. And he's working very, very well on the belt line. Okay, this is where I was talking about the posting. So you see this, I mean, this is a very kind of insulting thing to do as well, because, you're blocking their vision, but it's also you're kind of toying with them, and Yildirim's got this glove right between his hands now. He moves it out the way and then chases Canelo in with the right hand, which Canelo covers as if he's ready to brace to take. Yildirim throws it with full power, expecting to land. So he's even baiting him with his guard here. Covers up as he lands, but then in the last minute, as the punches start coming to impact, Canelo slips out of the way. Look how overextended Yildirim is. His head goes from right in front of Canelo. It's going to pop up over this shoulder. Power right hand goes all the way past, and then his head's there, and you can see that moment where he realizes something's coming back. But can't do anything about it, tries to get his hands up in time, but he's way too overextended. It's just the games within games that Canelo plays. It fascinates me. Bang, power shot to the body. Just parrying everything off his hands and his guard. It's really, really nice work. Here's what I'm talking about with the body shots. Big shot to the body again. Look, you can see, look at that. Look how this is what started to work for Canelo when he starts to come up with the lead hook to the head. Because he's digging this shot to the body and Yildirim pulls his guard down. Look, watch that retraction of the gloves. Drops down to try and brace himself. This is why the feints to the body were working. And then coming up to the head. There's the slow-mo. Beautiful work. Slap. Bang. Up in the center. And then this is the right hand over his shoulder, look. And then right up the center channel. You can see a bit better how this is loaded, and there's the slip. So like covered as if he's expecting the right hand. Yildirim's throwing this as if he's going to impact Canelo on the side here. And it would look like an impactful shot. He's throwing everything into it. You can see he's dropped his other hand down over here. Like, that's when you can tell someone's committing to a power shot, when they're not worried about their guard. And Canelo's just, oh, that's why he shaved this morning. Slid off his chin. And then fully extended. I mean, you couldn't have Yildirim more overextended than that. And then he digs with a big power shot right to the chin. Lovely, lovely work. Okay. Third round. Now, at this point, Canelo's established a few different narratives. He started to use the feints, and they're working up the center channel. He's beaten the body up pretty well. So now the back of Canelo's triceps and his ribs are starting to hurt. Yildirim's out of talk from his corner team. He's got to start doing something, otherwise they're going to pull him out of the fight. And this is 3 rounds into a world title fight. I mean, coaches wouldn't talk like that unless they were seriously concerned about their fighter. So you can imagine the impact that they've seen on him from facing Canelo. Okay, here's the knockdown. Right, so Canelo's working close range here. Just beating him up on the inside, real casual, not really showing any kind of concern or fear. Lovely little parry across just there, look. Just redirects that. Body work, big power shot, and then Yildirim steps away to kind of reset for that, because that's a big enough shot to force this foot to step out to the side. Bang. He has to reset his balance and step. Canelo circles with him, and Yildirim throws a spacer out. So he now feels like he's at a comfortable range, because he's gone from having Canelo right in his face working his body, and now Canelo's outside of his jabbing range. So he feels safe just for a moment. But as this jab is retracted, it pulls Canelo with it. And the speed at which he moves is incredible. And he throws his jab out there fully with the intention of upsetting the guard of Yildirim so he can throw his power punch through it. You know this because as the jab lands, his lead foot's not in contact with the floor. So watch this lead foot here. There's the jab landing. Look, you can see the impact that moves Yildirim's head, and you can also see the shadow underneath his foot. So you can see that his foot's not on the ground. And this is super fast. I'm going to play this through for you slow as well. As the foot makes contact, I mean, like the camera doesn't even pick it up. It's like crazy. Bang. Foot's in contact, right hand's there, and then connects. And you can also see the placement of the foot and how in line it is with Yildirim's, which means he's fully inside Yildirim's range. He's able to not only punch through his guard, but through the position his head was, which is there. I mean, the full extent of the punch is all the way through that. It's really interesting the way he used his footwork there. Let me just slow that down for you so you can see that. Slow-mo play. Big power punch, reset his back foot, jab spacer, sting, bang. That is so fast. Incredible. Okay, so and Yildirim's not quite sure what's happened. He kind of pushes him off there, like says he's like motioned like he was pushed over there. And then for the rest of the round, Canelo just does the same work. Like he's basically got a guy here he's look at the redness on his arms and body. Like that is as much of a target as that, and they're both working against Yildirim. He's taken a beating to both, and he's reactive to both. And now he just doesn't know where to cover. Look, like he's bracing himself best he can here. But if you're covering headshots, you don't want your guard there. And this again is the slap hook, and then he comes power hook on the other side. Loads his shoulders. As his left shoulder comes forward, oh my pen's not working again. As his left shoulder comes forward, it loads his right shoulder, which is right behind him, and then he comes right across again. That is everything he's got. Bang. Right across. Doesn't even matter if it lands on the guard of Yildirim. And he just this next 90 seconds he's basically just bullies him. He tries that double step again. Lovely uppercuts on the inside. But it's just, you can see the way that he's broken his opponent down. And when I say there's no fat on his game, there's nothing unnecessary. I like to watch fighters that showboat and use loads of head movement and all that kind of stuff. But there's also something really beautiful about someone that's just so blunt in their approach. Like there is flair, but the flair serves a purpose. A lovely little touch there. Little touch across. Hang on a minute, where are we? There we go. Throws the 1-2. Bang, bang is a slap right, a slap left hook again. Right hand down the centre, which doesn't quite land. Yildirim peels off to the side and he just stings him with like a cheeky backhand. Beautiful. Yeah, I mean, just completely dominated him and bullied him all the way through. And that 1-2, I've been drilling it on the bag. It's like to be able to upset someone's guard. Watch this second shot here. Stings it right through his guard with no real intention of hurting him with it. Again, because his front foot wasn't on the floor. Fires it through, but watch what it does to Yildirim's guard as well. Snaps his head back, crosses his guard, and then removes it for the next punch. Oh, I mean, fantastic. Really, really good work. So, that is the archive. I'll do this for a whole bunch of fights. If there's something that you like, something that you'd want me to break down or talk through or pull apart, whatever, close decisions or all that kind of stuff, send me a tweet or whatever. Get the message to me, and I'll add it to the list. I've got about 40 on the list at the moment, so I'll start working through those. Some really, really interesting ones, old boxing matches, old kickboxing matches, some legends and stuff. So it'll be a fun project for me and hopefully an interesting show for you. And I hope this one was interesting for you. I'll catch you next time.